Hollywood has a shiny side that we all love. The red carpets, the big smiles, and the fairy tale moments. But if you look closer, you will see a darker side that most fans don't see. While publicists create perfect stories and share ideal quotes, the reality of some stars is quite shocking. Today, we will uncover the hidden struggles of famous people whose bright on-screen images hide serious issues. From classic legends to today's stars who can be challenging to work with, these stories may change how you view every movie poster you've ever liked. Even more surprising than the secrets is how these individuals live double lives. While the industry kept the bad news quiet, and everyone stayed silent to maintain the illusion. The hush money and the don't ask, don't tell culture that protected them? This will make you question every celebrity interview you see from now on. Let's start with a well-known voice we all hear at Christmas, someone who seemed like the perfect dad, until you find out what his home life was like. Bing Crosby, America's Christmas icon or secret tyrant. I thought I could be a lawyer because I sang part-time and entered many speaking contests. Every holiday, Bing Crosby's smooth voice fills the air with White Christmas, making us feel warm and happy, like the fun uncle everyone wants at family dinners. He seemed like the perfect man for mid-century America, but his children share a different story about their home life. Gary Crosby, Bing's oldest son, wrote a memoir that reveals the truth. Bing ran the household like a boot camp and used a belt for punishment. Gary and his brothers had weekly weigh-ins, and if they gained even a pound, they faced discipline. The strict rules created a cold atmosphere that left lasting scars. Meanwhile, Bing portrayed himself to the public as a cheerful family man. It's concerning how he could be harsh with his kids while being the joyful singer everyone adored. People in the studio and public relations worked hard to hide any negative stories, controlling Hollywood's image at that time. Bing treated home like a military base while pretending to be the perfect dad, said one family friend. The kids had to jump to attention when he came in. Those Christmas TV specials with the family, they were just for show. It's painful to realize that America believed this image, while his children lived a different reality behind closed doors. Bing looked like the ideal father on TV, but his sons experienced fear at home. Charlie Chaplin, the genius who preyed on teenage girls. Charlie Chaplin's Little Tramp character is known for his innocent charm, but Chaplin himself had a troubling side, especially in his relationships with very young girls. Film expert Edward Marshall said, Chaplin had a type, girls fresh out of pigtails. His first wife, Mildred Harris, was just 16 when they married, and his second wife, Lita Gray, was only 15 when they started dating. Chaplin used his fame to manipulate young women, creating a power imbalance that affected their choices. In divorce papers, Gray accused him of pressuring her into degrading situations and threatening her career if she didn't comply. The studio even paid to keep some of the worst details hidden. Chaplin's affair with Joan Barry led to a paternity case. Although tests showed he wasn't the father, he still faced financial consequences. While we appreciate Chaplin's talent today, it's important to remember the harm he caused to underage girls. Marlon Brando, a family life that became a horror movie. Marlon Brando changed acting with his famous roles as Kowalski and in The Godfather. However, his family life was troubled and chaotic, which deeply affected his children. He was often emotionally and physically absent, fathering 11 children with different mothers but not raising any of them. This absence haunted his family. His son Christian, despite having wealth, struggled with addiction and anger. This led to a manslaughter conviction for shooting his sister's boyfriend in 1990. Cheyenne also faced her own challenges and tragically took her life in 1995 at age 25. Although Brando felt devastated and admitted his failures, he provided wealth and fame without real support. He later said, "I failed as a father," reflecting on the struggles actors often have with parenting. Ultimately, he expressed regret, saying, "I went to enjoy a brief moment and lost everything." Judy Garland, a studio-manufactured addiction. America loved Judy Garland as Dorothy, a hopeful young girl with a beautiful voice. However, at just 16, she struggled with a dangerous cycle of pills. Former MGM insiders revealed that she was given stimulants to stay energetic and sedatives to help her sleep, starting when she was 13. MGM executives, focused on her young looks, pressured her to lose weight and called her the Little Hunchback. By age 18, Judy was thoroughly addicted. While she performed well on screen, her personal life fell apart. Doctors cared more about keeping stars working than about their health, which led to Judy's battles with addiction, suicide attempts, and hospital visits. When she died of an overdose at 47 in 1969, it was ruled accidental. However, those who knew her understood that her tragic fate was due to how MGM treated her during her early years. Rock Hudson, the star forced to live a lie. In the 1950s and 1960s, Rock Hudson was known as the ideal man. He was charming and had a strong presence, especially when acting with Doris Day. However, he hid a painful secret. He was gay. Rock lived two lives, said his former publicist. He showed a straight persona to the public, but was true to himself only around a few close friends. During a time when being gay could ruin a career, his agent, Henry Wilson, took steps to protect him. This included arranging fake dates and even a brief marriage to Wilson's secretary, Phyllis Gates, who initially did not know his secret. A close friend pointed out the challenges Rock faced while living this double life and the constant anxiety he felt. Rock died from AIDS in 1985, which shocked many people. His death was one of the first significant celebrity losses linked to the disease and highlighted the struggles of living in secrecy. Although Rock could not live openly, his story encouraged others to embrace their true selves. Loretta Young, the hidden daughter she adopted herself. Loretta Young played kind-hearted characters in films, showing the victory of good over evil. She was a devoted Catholic and followed her beliefs in a corrupt world, but she kept a big secret. While filming Call of the Wild in 1935, she became pregnant with Clark Gable's child, who was married. To avoid scandal and protect her career, she created a risky plan. She said she was ill and gave birth to Judy in November 1935. 19 months later, Loretta adopted Judy from a Catholic home, with her family's help in keeping the secret. Loretta worried that Judy looked like Gable, so she even had Judy's ears fixed when she was 7. Judy called her Mama, not knowing the truth. Years later, when Judy turned 31 in 1966, she asked Loretta about her father and discovered that Gable was her biological father. Loretta never admitted this publicly and passed away in 2000, still telling the adoption story. This hidden truth shows women's tough choices back then, where a single mistake could end a career. Loretta's secret was both a protection and a heavy burden. Errol Flynn, the pirate with a dark side. Errol Flynn was known as Hollywood's action hero in movies like Captain Blood and Robin Hood, but his personal life was chaotic. He struggled with heavy drinking and complex relationships, which led to many problems. In 1942, Flynn faced serious accusations when 2 teenage girls accused him of rape. His trial attracted a lot of media attention, and his lawyer called the girls hustlers. Although Flynn was found not guilty, this raised concerns about his relationships with young women. Public relations painted him as a victim, but many people in the industry knew about his troubling behavior. While he had support from those around him, society often blamed the victims. As Flynn's fame declined, his alcohol problems got worse, leading to fights and health issues. His yacht, Sirocco, became a party place but eventually got out of control. He died in 1959 at 50, deeply affecting his health and reputation. His last words showed his troubled life. "Woman, you can see that much for yourself. It's coming to an end, Mary Astor." The sex diary that shattered her career. Mary Astor was famous for her clever and seductive roles, primarily as Bridget in The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart. In 1936, her diary was leaked during a custody battle, causing a scandal that damaged her reputation. Entertainment historian Margaret Williams called it a 30s sex tape scandal. Tabloids published explicit parts of her diary that clashed with her polished image. Her ex-husband, Dr. Franklin Thorpe, shared details of her affairs with married men, shocking the public who saw her as a good actress. Despite the scandal, director William Wyler supported her during the filming of Dodsworth, which helped revive her career. The court destroyed the original diary, but copies might still exist. Astor claimed that many entries in her diary were made up. This situation highlighted the unfair treatment of women in Hollywood at that time. Jerry Lewis, charity icon, monster dad. Jerry Lewis was a famous comedian for his silly humor and funny faces. He hosted a telethon for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, raising about $2.6 billion for children with the disease. However, his children had a different view. His oldest son, Gary, described their home life as scary and harsh, saying that while Jerry loved in public, he was cruel at home. Jerry had 6 sons with his first wife, Patty, Gary, Ronald, Scott, Christopher, Anthony, and Joseph. They felt he was distant and often put his career before his family. Ronald said that Jerry was so focused on his public image that he forgot to be a father. He enforced strict rules and punished them for breaking them. Jerry also had a secret daughter, Susan, from an affair in the 1960s. DNA tests confirmed she was his child, but he ignored her. After he died in 2017, she expressed hurt that he cared more for strangers than for her. Ultimately, Jerry disinherited all 6 sons, leaving his $50 million estate to his second wife, Sandy, and their adopted daughter, Danielle. An old friend noted that Jerry held on to grudges throughout his life. Jean Tierney, the fan who ruined her life. Jean Tierney was known for her roles in Laura and Razor's Edge. In 1943, while pregnant, she ignored doctors' advice to stay home during a rubella outbreak and went to the Hollywood canteen to meet fans. One fan, who was infected, unknowingly put Jean and her unborn child at risk. Jean's daughter, Daria Basai, was born with serious health problems. She was blind, deaf, and had brain damage due to congenital rubella. Jean never got sick herself, and years later, a fan admitted she had rubella but chose to go out instead of staying quarantined. This revelation deeply hurt Jean. She felt betrayed that a stranger risked her daughter's health. A friend recalled, "I turned and walked away. I felt physically sick." The situation affected Jean greatly. Raising a child with disabilities while trying to keep her career going became too much for her. She suffered from depression, was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and faced emotional challenges. Her career declined, but her second marriage brought some stability. Daria lived most of her life in an institution due to the stigma at that time and Jean's struggles. A friend from the film industry said, "The cruelty of that random act changed everything. If that fan had stayed home, Jean might have had a healthy baby in a different life." These highlights show the true sides of 10 stars. Which one surprised you the most? Share in the comments, like for more Hollywood gossip, and subscribe for extras. Stay tuned for darker stories ahead.